Alrighty, Winter. I know I'm a little behind on your MD12 series, but I still wanted to, stay committed to watching over your replays for you. So I didn't go over the draft just because you're not the one drafting. Maybe I could do that in future videos. I could talk through like your team's draft, maybe things that you can advocate for, talk about what you need, whatnot, so forth in the drafts. But I'm just I'm not taking the draft into account this game. I'm just looking at this game starting at minute -1. So in this game, it looks like you're gonna be position 5 as Jakiro. Looks like your Oracle's going for. So first and foremost, whenever I start a game, I look at basically my lane versus the opponent's lane. So you are going to be a Jakiro and a Templar Assassin. And you are going to be going up against a Night Stalker, and I don't know if it's going to be a Rubik or a Venomancer. My guess would probably be Rubik. I'm just going to skip ahead just so we can see exactly what the lane is. Okay, so it looks like it's going to be a Venomancer 4, but maybe it wasn't great to skip ahead there, because at this point in time, maybe you do know who you're going up against, maybe you don't, but I'm just going to kind of go through like my thoughts and what I think you should be doing at this point in the game when you still don't know like what your lane matchup is going to be. So it's going to be Templar Assassin Jakiro versus either Night Stalker and a Venomancer or Rubik. So here's what I'm thinking. The Templar Assassin, the Jakiro, you have a really, really good kill threat. Like, Templar Assassin does tremendous damage. Templar Assassin does tremendous damage if the TA can, like, stay on top of enemy heroes. And one thing that Jakiro is really good at is slowing heroes, stunning heroes, allowing TAs to stay on top of heroes. Another thing that I'm thinking about this lane matchup is that one of the big defensive layers that the TA has in lane is for refraction charges. Refraction is removed by instances of damage. This might not be as applicable if you have a Venomancer in your lane against the TA. However, if it is the Rubik, you slowing the enemy's attack speed will really make TA's refraction charges a lot more powerful. So I think this is a really good lane. I think this is a lane that you could have really, really good kill threat on. Now let's look at the enemies. It's going to either be a Venomancer, Rubik, or Rubik plus the Night Stalker. So what I think about this is Night Stalker very, very weak early on. Night Stalker just wants to defensively creep aggro, drag creeps back, just get what last hits the Night Stalker can until that first 5-minute nighttime. So your objective is to punish this Night Stalker, bully him, deny him, make his life as miserable as possible until that first nighttime. Now, whether you're going up against the Rubik or the Venomancer, it's going to be their job to keep the Night Stalker in lane, keep the Night Stalker on the creep wave, and enable his farm for the first 5 minutes. So it's important to understand what you want to do and also what the enemy wants to do, and that's going to help you kind of develop your decisions later on down the line. Now let's talk about this Rubik versus Venomancer. Rubik is a very, very weak laner. He is pretty good at not dying because he could lift you, he could throw you back, he could run away, especially if he goes boots first, but he's not going to be really assertive. He's not going to bully you out from anywhere you want to be. You're going to be bullying him and forcing him to run around in circles wherever you are, right? You're basically a ward that can basically herd him like a sheepdog where you want him to go. With Venomancer, it's a little more nuanced because you do outtrade the Venomancer when it's just you and Venomancer one-on-one. However, Venomancer can be really deadly because that Poisonous Gale is so freaking long in duration that, like, even if he gales you, you could dual breath him. You could outtrade him 1v1. But that Poisonous Gale will enable the Night Stalker to leave the lane and come at you as well. So you want to be in a position where, like, if you are in close enough range that the Night Stalker can pull off the wave and come get you during the duration of the gale, you want to be very careful and aware of that, right? But if you're way out in the fucking boonies out here, Night Stalker can't really run from here all the way over to here. Then if, you know, Venomancer wants to gale you and try and trade with you, sure, he could try, but he's going to lose the trade. So you can win trades with Venomancer 1v1 when you're away, but however, you might not be able to win trades when you're together. However, that it's still a little more nuanced than that, because I believe that let's say the creep wave is right here, right? If you walk up to the wave and you're trying to deny Night Stalker and playing to keep Night Stalker away from the wave like you should be, if the Venomancer walks up and gales you, you need to be very conscientious on how you use your dual breath, because I think that if Venomancer gales you, Night Stalker and Venomancer run at you, if you dual breath both heroes, you and TA will be able to win the trade. However, if you dual breath one hero, then you will lose the trade and you will probably die. You might die either way, but if you do dual breath both heroes, if, you know, in this case, if it is the Venomancer and the Night Stalker, then you will at least get the first blood, even if you do die after the fact. And I took like 6 minutes to kind of talk about like what to anticipate coming into the lane. And I took the 6 minutes to kind of talk about like what you should be anticipating, because I feel like you should boil everything that I just talked about, what I just talked about now, boil it all down into like 15-20 seconds of like what you're talking to your laning partner during this period of the game, during minute -1 to minute 0, during that pre-game time. As you're walking down the lane, as you're getting set up, you should be like, hey, Binary boy, you know, in this case, he's your pause 1. Hey, Binary, we have a really good lane. We could get kills on these guys. You know, if it's Venomancer, then X, Y, and Z. If it's Rubik, X, Y, and Z, right? So that way y'all are on the same page and operating under the same heuristics going into the laning stage, so you guys can have that degree of synergy when you're laning together. You know what to expect from one another. Now, all these opinions that I just kind of shared with you are opinions that I've developed over many games of Dota. And I think that you should start to think about these things yourself. And funny enough, just as I go through all of that, it looks like you and the Oracle are swapping lanes. So you're going to be coming down here with the Magnus. And thankfully, you are not laning against the Monkey King, because this Monkey King would potentially be like could ruin this Mars's lane. So you're against a Magnus and a Rubik down here, and I'm not going to go into the full depth that I just went into regarding like the top lane matchup, just because I spent so much time on that. But I might summarize as I go along here, but I'm not going to sit down and like really go through it all. I really like what you're doing here. You dual breath the Rubik, and you're getting so many of these auto attacks. I'm like, this is fantastic. Very good. I noticed you have a Sentry Ward, and you haven't attempted to unblock your hard camp right here. I think this is a mistake. Like, if you come to lane with the Sentry, you need to be planting the Sentry and attempting to unblock your hard camp at some point before the first minute. It looks like you're still going to get a camp here, if I'm not mistaken. You do. But that's just kind of a failure on part of Lord Lucy, since Lucy has the sentry that he could have blocked. But at this point, you need to understand like what your objective is, right? The lane is right here, right in front of the enemy tower. This is the ideal situation for the Magnus and the Rubik, right? What you should be thinking right now is maybe during that time span of 30 seconds to 1 minute, you should be maybe standing here, helping your Mars get last hits, you know, secure the range creep, deny the Magnus. I think sitting here is fine, right? But I think at both these instances, when you have your dual breath off cooldown, you did a great job the first time. Dual breath, auto attack, auto attack, auto attack. Wear him down, right? But right now, you have mangoes, you have dual breath. Pop a mango, dual breath him, right? Look at the minute. Your biggest concern is this key, you know, this pull right here. You have to pull at 15. If you walk over here and pull at 15. In this current status quo, a good player, I'm just going to assume Lord Lucy is a good player. Lord Lucy will walk over, attack the creep camp and block the camp because there's nothing stopping him. At this point, you came to lane with these tangos. You came to lane with these mangoes, this clarity. Use them. Like, there's objectives at hand. By you not using your resources right now, you are not getting the value out of the starting region that you started with. So right now, literally right now, maybe as soon as they hit play, you'll do this. But right now, what you need to do is pop a mango, dual breath, auto attack, auto attack, auto attack. You can get 4 to 5 auto attacks on this Rubik from here until he, runs ping, 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 through here back to the tower, right? But guess what, Winter? Guess what? You pop a mango, dual breath, auto attack, auto attack, auto attack. Rubik is right here. Rubik is under the tower. Let alone is he under the tower, the furthest point away from the hard camp, he's also going to be at like 1/3 life, right? So you dual breath, auto attack, whatever. He's under the tower. You walk over, pull at 15, Winter, right? And guess what? He doesn't have a salve. He only has tangos. So literally, if he walks over to this hard camp and he still wants to contest the pull at 1/3 hit point, guess what? You pop your other mango. You dual breath, auto attack. Kelly comes over with, he'll probably be level 2 with Spear of Mars at this point, and you get a first pump, and you get a first blood on the Rubik, right? But what are you doing right now? This lane is in a really, really bad spot for you. Kelly's having a hard time farming because, the drag back with the skewer is a very, very tangible, like, scary thing in this lane. Rubik did end up starting Fade Bolt, but like, what good players could have done is, because like, the first creep wave is always going to land right here in front of the tower. Good players might go for the combo where Rubik scales level 1 lift to set up for a skewer into the tower, right? So like, it's very, very scary to play around here with this Magnus, right? So, you do kind of do what I wanted you to do. You did end up, dual breathing the Rubik again. You auto-attacked him a couple times. You could have been much, much more aggressive on it. The way you played that interaction was very, very reactive and not proactive. Like, you didn't force that exchange. It was that exchange that you took with him was a response. So, like, you dual breathed him and then you both ran away, and you didn't get the most value out of that dual breath. The value of dual breath is being able to dual breath the enemy support, auto attack when they can't contest you. But it does look like, at the end of the day, you are set up for this pull. But look at this. Rubik is in position to block the pull. Actually, did you creep aggro? My Winter, did you creep aggro? Oh, please tell me you creep aggroed. Okay, you did not creep aggro, but you still got the pull off. So the result is the same. But like, that's the risk, right? I knew exactly what was going to happen. If you did what I told you to do, the Rubik would literally be sitting at 1/3 hit points. He wouldn't even have been he wouldn't have been in any shape or position to contest the pull. And if he would have, it would have been first blood. By the way the lane played out, literally in the span of 30 seconds, the lane is like fine for the enemies. We're like, if you literally just would have done what I said in this span of 30 seconds, the lane would have been like really, really tough for them. But it did end up kind of working out indirectly in your favor, but you really need to focus on like being aggressive and forcing these exchanges that the Rubik doesn't want to exchange. I also noticed that you're spending a lot of time kind of like running back and forth. You want to minimize the time that you're kind of like dicking around and like clicking back and forth on your minimap. Like, if you come over here, like, auto attack this creep, like literally, like auto attack this creep 3 times, because that will at least like bring the more equilibrium back in your favor. Because right now you're spending another like 15-20 seconds clicking back and forth, not really accomplishing anything. You're gonna get this pull, but will you get the pull off? Not quite. You did put the range creep into deny range, and you are going to deny the range creep. So that is a very, very good play. And you did also manage to stack the camp as well. But like, look at this. Winter, you're a Jakiro! Winter, let alone are you Jakiro, you scaled to liquid fire. So like, Rubik should not be able to do this. I understand you don't have the mana for Liquid Fire, and at this point, if this is not your courier right here, I'm gonna be upset. It is not your courier, and your courier is in the base. So you're out of mangoes, you are out of dual breaths. I think I've talked to you about preemptive Regen before, right? But in the span of like what was going down here a minute ago, right? So actually at the very start of the lane, where you play the lane perfectly at the very start, right here, Rubik was right here. You dual breath, auto attack, auto attack, auto attack, auto attack. He couldn't contest you. Phenomenal, great, right? And then if I were in your shoes right here, when I had suggested pop the mango, dual breath the Rubik, auto attack, auto attack, auto attack, auto attack, right there, I'd realize I'm out of mangoes. I would have queued up one salve, one mango, or not a salve, one clarity, one mango, whatever Regen was available in stock, because Regen is much more finite in this patch. I would queue up whatever Regen is available, and based on just kind of like what I would anticipate in my games, it might be one clarity, one mango. Buy those and send that courier out. And if you would send those resources out to you right like 1 minute ago, you would have another mango, another clarity right now, right? And you would have the mana to dual breath. But even not ignoring this really important idea of preemptive Regen, you did all this fuckery right here where you click back and forth, click back and forth. You're clicking back and forth, I guess, putting yourself in a position nearby the Mars. But you weren't auto attacking, really doing anything. But even beyond my criticism of like you weren't auto attacking creeps to make the lane equilibrium more favorable for you. You weren't really doing anything in that time. You're just kind of clicking back and forth. During that time, you're just clicking back and forth, not accomplishing anything. Let alone could you have been auto attacking your own creeps that are below half life to garner more lane equilibrium in your lane's favor. You also could have popped this clarity and had this clarity running, because now all of a sudden you're in a position where like Rubik is auto attacking you and you can't really stop the Rubik from contesting this, right? And if you're not, and it's already your mistake to be in this position where Rubik can take favorable trades on you and there's nothing you could do about it really. Right here, like Rubik literally auto attacks you 4 times and you just let him. You literally bend yourself over. Let's see here. Like you see him, 1 auto attack, 2 auto attacks, 3 auto attacks, and like here you're trying to like auto attack with him. You finally get the liquid fire off, but like you're so low, it's hard to take trades with them. And even right here, like maybe he flared out this way because he saw you flare out this way, but right here, look where the equilibrium is. Winter, pull this camp. This is a free pull. Looks like now you're going for it, but you're unfortunately going to miss it and put yourself in kind of a dicey situation with this Rubik. You might get the range creep, and you do, so that is a small victory, but you really would have liked to have gotten this full pull off. So you are going to deny the creep from them both, which is good. But even then, Winter, where is your courier? Winter! You need Regen, my friend. Like you have enough for 1 dual breath. Like you did go liquid fire, you didn't go ice path, so you have less demand on your mana right now. But like, I'm just going to project a little bit on you right now, right? I can't help but feel like at this point in the lane, as you were playing this in real time, you probably felt worthless right now, right? And I'm projecting that on you because I see you low life, low mana, sitting way far back. You can maybe be in position to like dual breath defensively if the Magnus and the Rubik make a defensive move on the Mars, but like, you can only play responsive at this point. But the biggest boon, like with some heroes, like if you're playing a Nyx Assassin pause 4 and you start with brown boots, all you can really do is just play reactively, right? Because you're not going to be getting any kills with a Mars and Nyx pause 4 for the most part, right? But as a Jakiro, you have to be playing proactive. You do not play reactively in most lanes. You play proactively, and you should be bullying the crap out of this Rubik. And I talk all the time about how good Jakiro is at taking trades and how piss poor Rubik is at taking trades. The only reason why you may not feel like you're taking good trades, or what the reason why it feels like the Rubik is out trading you right now, is just because like you're not giving yourself the Regen in order to continue trading with him, right? Like even right now, you have 2 Iron Branches and a Tango. So I'm going to break down this entire laning stage into like 3 things that you could do better on, right? And 2 of the 3 things that I see already, so the 2 big things I want you to think about moving forward is, 1, if you start with Regen, I want you to use that Regen. You have this Clarity, Winter. You have this Tango, Winter. You have this Iron Branch. Like, drop a branch, eat a Tango, try and get some life back. Like, put yourself in a position where you can contest this Rubik. Like, this Rubik should not be bullying you. So, like, really focus on, like, using your Regen to, like, continue to take good trades and play the, use your Regen to enable yourself to play the lane that you've envisioned the lane to be able to play for you, right? Because, like, you just haven't been using your Regen, and like, let alone have you been reacting to everything the Rubik has been doing. You've also been using your regeneration reactively. Like Rubik walked up to you, what's that spell called? Fade bolted you, and then you popped a mango and you dual breath, right? Why did you wait for the Rubik to get 3 auto attacks on you and then fade bolt you? For you then to pop a mango to dual breath run away, when you could have just popped a mango, dual breath, and ran at him. So you're not really using your Regen as a resource, as a part of the strength of your hero. You are more using your Regen as a coping mechanism to react and kind of hang on by a thread. I don't want you to play these lanes like you're hanging on by a thread, Winter. I want you to play these lanes like you are using your Regen as like a whole kit, whole package of what you're bringing into the lane as your hero. Like, I want your resources to be a part of your hero kit the same way your hero's abilities are a part of your hero kit. There's this big disconnect between the power of your hero and the way you could be playing this lane, and the way it's actually kind of like manifesting before my eyes. So the first thing that I kind of spilled the beans on just now was, 1, I want you to use your Regen. Use your Regen to be strong. Use your Regen to Lakad Monotog. Use your Regen to bully the enemy support. Bully the enemy core. Bully them away from you so you can do what you want. You are using your Regen reactively and not even getting the most out of the Regen like you could be playing a hero like Jakiro. So that's heuristic number 1. Use your Regen, and use your Regen to make yourself strong. 2, Preemptive Regen. If you are using your Regen to make yourself strong, if you're using your Regen to play the lane like you know it could be forced to be played as, right? If you use your Regen to make your kit and your hero, to make yourself strong, you're going to be using that Regen. So you have to be aware of Preemptive Regen. So let alone are you just not using your Regen right now, you're also not sending more Regen out to yourself. So you're just setting this lane up to continue to be a passive, reactive lane for the next 2 minutes. And if you are playing a passive, reactive lane as a Jakiro, for the most part, you're playing the lane wrong. And I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and hit play because it's been paused for so long. But I mean, I already anticipate the way this lane is gonna go. Like, you're still, like, you have a big wave coming in, but like you're still at a big threat of dying here. If like Rubik lifts you or something like that. But yeah, so use your Regen, and use your Regen to be strong, and use your Regen to play the lane that you wanted to play. And 2, be aware of Preemptive Regen. Like, as you start consuming your Regen to force the trades and force the exchanges that you want to take, if you come to lane with 3 mangoes, once you pop 2 mangoes, buy another mango, buy another Clarity, start shipping it out to you, because you don't want, because like, here's the big thing about Preemptive Regen, is that you don't want to start ferrying out the Regen when you're already out of resources. You want the Regen to be to you, be in your inventory once you are out of resources, right? So at this point, you're not even sending your courier out to yourself, so you're not even thinking about this. But like maybe you are in the next maybe 10 seconds and like you're sitting really sad right now. And without this idea of preemptive regen and fair and sending the regen out to you before you need it, even if you send out, even if you bought those items and you start, send the courier to yourself now, you're not even gonna get those items for another minute basically. So you really need to be aware that like be aware that once you stop popping regen to like once you start forcing these exchanges, once you start playing the lane confidently and strong, once you maybe pop the first 2 instances of regen, whether that's 1 clarity, 1 mango, or 2 mangoes, buy more and send it out to you because you want that regen to you when you're out and you don't want to start the process of getting it to you when you're already out. So use your regen and use your regen to be strong. And 2, preemptive regen. Start sending the next wave of regeneration items to you before you need it.
Radiant structures are fortified. First blood.
Really good pull here. I did notice that you popped your clarity. Even right here, I mean, you still have this Iron Branch, you still have a Tango, you're still not full life. You may as well drop either eat a tree or drop your Iron Branch and eat a Happy Tree. Like, you're still not using your regen right now. You could be full. I now see you TPing mid. You're going to be helping out your mid. I do like this rotation. A very astute and observant rotation on your part. I do like that you made this TP to save your Void Spirit. Unfortunately, it may not work out for you very well. You do end up dying. That's unfortunate. I don't think you needed to die there per se. So I'm not gonna be critical of that, but just because I did really appreciate how you make that. You were observant enough to make that TB. And let alone were you observant enough to make that TB, you're observant enough to make that TB when I think perhaps you realized you weren't really needed in the lane at the moment. Like, Mars doesn't need you here when the lane is under tower, right? So, like, the lane was under tower, you made that TB, you did die, it didn't work out, but, like, despite that being maybe a poor rotation on paper, I do think it was a good thought, and it was a good rotation through the scope of, like, a macro level perspective. Okay, so you take the Watcher. You're gonna double stack here. You could have double stacked with Ice Path. I don't. Yeah, you're unfortunately. So you could have Ice Pathed first and then auto attacked and then double stacked. Perhaps you might have learned that in that instance, but And okay, so now you're back to lane. Dual breath, and he skewers away. Okay, yeah, that's fine. And at this point, the laning stage is going to be just about over. Monkey King is already level 6. So yeah, and the Rubik is already out of lane. So I feel like at this point, the laning stage is already over. But I think those are 2... Maybe I didn't quite get to 3 heuristics, or 3 overarching heuristics for you to think about moving forward. Here. I know the 3 because I took a big portion of the first part of this kind of recap to talk about this. But first thing, just the overall summary of kind of this review. First thing, think about how the lane is going to play out. Think about the synergy and interaction between your hero and your core hero. Think about the synergy and interaction, or maybe not the synergy, but think about how your hero interacts with the enemy support and the enemy core. Can you be assertive? Can you be dominant? Can you bully the enemy support? Do you have to play reactively? Do you have to cut waves? During the draft and during the minute -0 to minute 0, that 1 minute of the pregame, think about how you anticipate the lane playing out and communicate that with the core you're playing with. Talk about, hey, we No, in this lane, I would say, hey, the Rubik can't bully me. I'm gonna bully the crap out of the Rubik. I'm gonna keep him out of the jungle. I mean, this is exact. Actually, I'm not even gonna try and like apply this to like what you would think. I'm just gonna tell you what I would be saying, what I'd be thinking. I'd be saying to the Mars, hey Mars, Rubik can't trade with me. I'm going to out-trade them. I'm going to bully him out of the jungle. I'm going to focus on pulling. We do not want the wave by the tower. If the wave is by their tower, we die because they could lift, skewer, do all the lift, skewer, cheesy shenanigans, right? So I'm going to be very aggressive against the Rubik, push him out of the jungle. I'm going to keep him low. So when I do pull, I'm going to secure the camp, and when I do pull, I want you to be aware of when the Rubik steps forward to contest a pull, because we can kill him 100% of the time if you sidestep over into the jungle when he contests the pull, because I will make sure he is low life. I will make sure he's low on resources. I'll make sure it's always going to be a risk for him when he tries to contest the pull. So that way, now in this lane, the Mars knows I'm not going to be focusing my spells on Magnus. We're not going to be trying to kill the Magnus. We're going to be able to potentially threaten the Magnus by nature of keeping the Rubik out of the fight. And Magnus is a very tanky hero, high life, good defenses early on. Once you push the Rubik out of the lane, and once you bully him to the point where he feels like he has no impact in this lane, perhaps it's not even like, oh, now we could kill the Magnus. Perhaps now you could just, both you and the Mars can play really forward and deny creeps, and basically, you know, once Rubik, you know, bails out of here and leaves, you could keep the creep wave right here and just not even give Magnus a lane. If he tries to play up, you still might not be able to kill him, but you could at least, like, tag team with the Mars, deny all of his creeps, and that would be, like, the ideal scenario. So heuristic 1, develop a game plan, understand your synergy with the core you're playing with, understand the way your hero interacts with the opponent core, with the opponent support, and formulate a game plan in your head, and communicate that game plan with who you're playing with. 2, you are buying Regen to play the lane that you expect it to be played as, right? Let's say on the off chance you are a Jakiro and you're playing into an Omni-Knight Legion Commander. That's a lane you can't play as Jakiro. So wanna know what I'm doing as Jakiro? I'm starting Tango's Brown Boots and I'm cutting. I am not interacting with those heroes whatsoever. But in this lane, since you can bully the crap out of the Rubik, since you can either, you know, just win the lane by pulling anytime you want, or farm kills on the Rubik. Either way is great for you. Since you can play this assertive role in this way that Jakiro really likes to be played as, you know, I want you to buy Regen that mirrors how you want to be played, right? So if you want to, like, avoid interaction in this lane that's really bad for your hero, buy Brown Boots, buy Tangos, cut the wave. But if you're coming into the lane, as a support that could be really dominant, bully the enemy support, and, like, you know, be really assertive and forceful with how you see the lane playing out. Start with Tangos, a Salve, a bunch of Mangoes. Start with a lot of Regen. But if you do start with a lot of Regen, use that Regen to be strong. You started this lane with a bunch of Regen, Winter, but you didn't use that Regen to be strong. You use that Regen, you use your spells reactively, you use your Regen reactively. I want you to use your spells aggressively, and I want you to use your Regen aggressively to keep the Rubik away, to secure the jungle for yourself, and therefore secure the lane for yourself. Last thing, preemptive Regen. You're coming into this lane. You are starting the lane with a lot of Regen because you expect being really dominant, to bully the enemy support away, to take control of the jungle, and to win the lane that way, right? You're coming to lane with Regen that will enable your hero to be strong. I want you to preemptively buy Regen and start ferrying out the Regen to you before you need it. I want that Regen entering your inventory before you're out of resources. I don't want you to buy the Regen and ship it out to you when you're out of resources, or excuse me, like when you're low on everything. I want you to buy it and ship it to yourself as soon as you start expending it. I want you to always be topped off on Tangos, on Mangoes, on Clarities. I want you to always be in a position where you can continue to bully and force the lane through this idea of how you can play the lane on the hero that you're playing. So that is my analysis of this game. I think this is very, very constructive, and I'm hoping that you'll be able to take what I've talked about now, take it into your series here coming up in a second.